Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Last week, we were discussing a few points all around the cost management. So today I want to take it a bit further, and I'll begin with a quote for the day. When you work on something that has the capacity to make you $5, it doesn't matter how much harder you work. It will only make you $5. So that's very important to note. Why is that the case? Look at it this way. We had talked about, say, the cost of labor, that you can distribute either between 100 chicks or 1,000 chicks, depending on how many you have. So that's a fixed cost. It does not really matter how much harder you work. You'll still have to spend that 10, 20, 30,000 Kenya shillings that you're spending on your labor. Now, today's podcast, I want to discuss 2 points. Number one, managing costs. What I'm trying to do or what I'm looking into to manage my costs. And also, if you remember on one of the previous episodes, I had mentioned that I'll be increasing the number of chicks, again, just to spread out the costing, the fixed costs, and also increase my efficiency of the farm. So when I look at the first point, when I say managing the costs, what are my daily running costs as of today? My daily running costs, number one, is a repeat cost, particularly on labor. That is a fixed cost. There's a cost in terms of the feed. There's a cost in the water because, again, chicken, any poultry farm or any animal that for that matter is very sensitive to dehydration. So if you want to ensure successful poultry farming, water is a necessity. Then fourth, your medication. Every time you refill their water, there is always a medication you put in, maybe to boost their immunity and so on and so forth. So these 4 costs are more or less continuously repeating costs, right? So let's say first I begin with the labor. At the moment, my coop has just above 200 chicks right now. My labor is still a fixed point, right? So that means, for instance, if I am paying at 20,000 salary per month to my employee to take care of the coop and maybe some 1-2 other farm business, that means per chick I'm spending almost 100 shillings, right? That is at 20,000 for 200 chicks. Now let's scale it up. If I increase my chicks by double to 400, now it means per chick I'm spending 50 shillings. So you quickly see how that math is aligning. So how does that help you? You remember we were talking about the average cost of raising a chick from hatching to full maturity before it starts laying. That is very important. These are the small metrics that actually tally up to how competitive you can be in the market or how non-competitive you are in the same market. Okay, then let's look at water and food. This is the chicken feed, the mash, whichever. This one, again, it's proportional. As the bird grows, it eats more. As it grows, it takes more water. So it's proportional. There is really no way to mitigate that. So the only way you can capture your feed and your water is a food conversion ratio, something I like calling FCR. Why is that very important? If your bird is eating, say, 4 kgs per week at maturity, how much weight is it gaining? Because you see, at the end of the day, if you're selling these chicks, these birds for meat, again, your weight matters. Many hotels, many businesses will buy the chicks off you based on kgs. So if your bird is underweight and it is still eating, inakula kama fundi, as we say, boss, you're in trouble. So the feed conversion ratio is very important. That is one of the key metrics that leads some farmers to prefer something like Kenbro. Kenbro has one of the best feed conversion ratios out there. That bird can eat, but it will also give you proportional weight gains. So you'll find Kenbro Kienyeji, at full maturity, your rooster can even weigh up to your rooster can weigh up to even 5 kilograms, right? So if someone is buying from you per kg, say for 400 shillings, automatically you have a rooster that is now valued at 2,000 shillings, right? So that is very important when it comes to managing costs. Then another point to look at, which is what I'm trying to handle at the moment, is how can I supplement my farm with other feed that I can generate. So what I was looking at, what is this called? I was looking at 3 things. One, there is a plant called Azolla. If you've heard about it, I'm just checking. There's a plant called Azolla. There's a plant called duckweed, and there is BSF. BSF in full, that is some kind of BSF. Let me tell you. I'm learning so many new acronyms. So BSF is what you can call the black soldier fly. So I'll begin with the BSF. Again, sorry for that. It's called a black soldier fly. So this black soldier fly, it has a very unique cycle, right? Unique cycle in terms of maturity from the point where it's usually the eggs. Then it goes to maybe say some kind of larva stage. The larva stage has various points until it becomes the pupae, and after pupae goes into the cocoon, comes out as an adult fly. So the secret when it comes to BSF is you need to ensure you harvest it within the larva cycle. After the eggs, they go to first instar, second instar, third instar, fourth, fifth, whatever. This period is usually very well documented. You just have to do your research, but you have to capture it within that larva cycle before it goes into the cocoon, because once it goes into the cocoon, then it's useless to your birds, because now these are flies. They will just come out of the cocoon, fly away. Waste of time. So why is BSF coming in terms of cost management? You see, when you're trying to manage your cost, one of the first thing you need to look at is what can I do in-house? And that's what actually most multinationals, most companies that are successful, they try to maximize every single possibility that they can do in-house at a cheaper cost. If they cannot do it in-house at a cheaper cost, they will outsource. Okay? So that's the essential of business. If you can do it cheaper, do it. If you cannot, outsource to someone who can do it cheaper, regardless of whatever markup they're doing. So when you take the BSF and you get the eggs, you will say, for example, take again, I have not done this. This is based on my research. Should I decide to implement it, I will definitely document some videos and I'll share with you on my other platforms, right? So you take the eggs. You can go to BSF farmers. Many will sell to you maybe a kg and so on. So once they sell it to you, you'll take the BSF, the black soldier fly, in egg form or in the first larva stage. You'll take it, maybe 150 grams. You'll pour it into your waste products, right? Your waste product, I mean the mangoes, tomatoes, cabbages, leftover food, all that, maybe 10 kgs in a tray. You put it, you pour the maggots in there, and within 8 to 10 days, again, temperature is also very important. The lower the temperature, the lower the BSF life cycle progresses. Again, basics of incubation and growth. Again, the hotter the temperature, the faster they'll go, but again, it has also to be optimized to the best possible range. So this best possible range, from the research I've done so far, you're looking anywhere between 24 degrees Celsius to say a high of maybe 30 at most, right? So as long as you're within this temperature range, you're good. This is my understanding. So you take them, you put them in there, give them 8 to 10 days. They will convert all that waste food product into very large larvae or very large maggots. So this is what you take. They are very rich in protein. You take and you give your chicks and you give your birds. So in theory, if you are able to actually break down or understand from BSF farmers the cost of, say, growing 10 kgs worth of BSF flies, and you realize that those 10 kgs can feed my birds for, say, 2-3 days, and you compare that to the cost of your mash, wherever you're buying it. If you realize that the BSF is better to rear, then why not invest it? So this is what I'm talking about, cost management, right? Second one that I mentioned is Azolla and duckweed. Azolla and duckweed are both kind of sea plants. I have not done too much research on these ones, but Azolla and duckweed are very rich in protein, maybe 20-30%. Now, I'm hearing some controversies that Azolla is only beneficial to the seller, the one selling Azolla, not the one buying for the chicks. So I'm not sure. I'm working on that. Once I know more, definitely on the next episode, I'll update you, and I'll also update you if I've decided to take up the BSF farming. So now, now finally, the second part that I wanted to highlight after cost management is when you're planning your new chick stock. So this is very important. You have now identified your supplier of whichever breed you want, right? And your supplier asks you to place an order. They'll almost always ask for some commitment fee, maybe 30, 40, 50%, and even some 100% commitment fee. And they'll give you an order confirmation against which you are able to collect your chicks from the hatchery, maybe 2-3 weeks. They'll give you a timeline. That is very important, because once they give you that order confirmation and they tell you, say 1st of July, as of today, you will be able to collect your 300, 400, 500 chicks, whatever number you have requested. Then from the point of ordering to the point of delivery, you have, say, 3 weeks. 3 weeks means what? You need to sanitize your coop. You need to get the food in order. You need to get the feeding trays in order. A source of heat is very important for the first 3 weeks. Again, remember this I mentioned on one of the previous episodes. So you are able to get all this in line. So the reason that is very important, and why in managing costs I was talking about supplementary sources of chicken feed, is because at this point you have understood your true cost of rearing one chick before you scale up, right? So before economies of scale come in, you already know this is my cost. So you have now 3-4 weeks to plan around it, to decide for yourself whether or not you will go for supplementary feed options. There are even people out here who are selling chicken feed processors that you can process your own feed at home, or even go to some farmers, buy huge stocks of grain, maize, maybe soy, and so on, and some millet, whatever, and process yourself. That is very important when it comes to managing costs. To keep the episode short, I will be doing a part 2 where I'll break down specifically how to take care of the BSF, what is the cost per kilo of the larva or the eggs, how you can reproduce them for yourself so you don't have to keep buying. Second, I will dive into Azolla, what it is, what is required, what is the scale you need to actually feed, say, for example, 500 baths. And I'll also look into duckweed. I will try my best to give you the advantages and disadvantages, but remember, this is someone currently looking from the outside in. Once I have decided which of these 3 supplementary feed options I will be going forward with, then I'll be able to give you more first-hand information. If you like the content, if you like the episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and catch you guys on the next episode. Cheers.